Hello everyone. On this video we will be looking at solving problems involving work. Okay, so for our first example, let's say that John can paint a room in 3 hours. When Ralph helps, it takes 2 hours. How long would it take Ralph to do it alone? Alright, so this is how we're going to set that one up. Okay, so we know that John takes 3 hours. Okay, so if it takes him 3 hours to paint the room, that means that's 1/3 of the room per hour. Okay, and we know that together it takes them 2 hours. So that means they do 1/2 of the room per hour together. Now Ralph takes some unknown number of hours. That means he has some unknown number of an hour per hour. Okay, so we know that with John doing 1/3 plus Ralph and his some unknown amount of time per hour, they get half of the room done in that hour. Okay, so you have 1/3 plus 1 over whatever Ralph time is equals 1/2 of the room per hour. Okay, so we're going to multiply each term. Let me clean that up. By the least common denominator, which in this case is 6x. Okay, so we have 6x times 1/3 plus 6x times 1 over x equals 6x times 1/2. Okay, so see if we multiply this, you get 6x over 3, which is 2x, plus here we see the x's cancel out, so that's plus 6 is equal to 6x divided by 2 is 3x. Okay, so now we just solve for x. We subtract 2x from both sides. We see that 3x minus 2x is x, so x is equal to 6. 6 is equal to x, or x is equal to 6. Okay, so it takes Ralph 6 hours to do it by himself. Alright, so if you are still writing, feel free to press pause and finish up. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next example. There we go. Okay, so let's say that Sue and Deb together writing a book takes them 90 days. If Sue worked alone, it would take her 120 days. How long would it take Deb to write the book alone? Okay, so just like before, we know that if Sue takes 120 days, that means she's done with 1/120th of the book per day. If Deb takes, let's say, T number of days, it takes her 1 out of T per day. And together, it takes them 90 days. Which means they finish with 1/90th of the book per day. So in one day, you have Sue, which contributes 1/120th of the book, plus Deb, who contributes 1/T of the book. So they finish with 1/90th of the book per day together. Okay. So now we solve for our T. So we multiply each term. Oh, let me kind of separate that. By the least common denominator, which in this case is 360t. Okay, so we multiply 360t by 1/120 plus 360t times 1/t is equal to 360t times 1/90. Okay, so we have 360 divided by 120 is 3, so we have 3t here. Here the two t's cancel out, so we have plus 360 equals 360 divided by 90 is 4. That's 4t. Okay, so if we subtract 3t from both sides, we get 360 equals t. Okay, so if Deb wrote the book alone, it would take her 360 days. All right. So if you're still writing, feel free to press pause and finish up. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our last example. Okay. So let's say that Jack can remove the shingles of a house in 7 hours, while Mike can remove them in 5 hours. How long will it take them to remove the shingles together? Okay, so we have the same setup as before. Okay, we know that Jack alone takes 7 hours. Okay, so that means it's 1/7 of the shingles per hour. Now Mike alone takes 5 hours. So that's 1/5 of the shingles per hour. And together, they take t hours. So that's 1 out of t of them done per hour. Okay. So if you get Jack's 1/7 per hour plus Mike's 1/5 per hour, they'll get 1 out of t done per hour. Okay, so just like before, we're going to multiply each term by the least common denominator, which in this case is 35t. Okay, because the least common multiple of 7 and 5 is 35, and of course you have to have the t there since that's the other denominator. Okay, so that gives us 35t times 1/7 plus 35t times 1/5 is equal to 35t times 1/t. Okay, so 35t divided by 7 that gives us 5t. And 35t divided by 5, that gives us 7t. That's equal to, the two t's cancel out here, so that's equal to 35. Okay, so 7 plus 5 is 12, so that's 12t equals 35. Divide both sides by 12. You have t equals 35 over 12, or 2 and 11/12 of an hour. Okay, so since 1/12 of an hour is 5 minutes, 11/12 is 55 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 55 minutes that it would take them to do it together. All right, so hopefully this made sense, and I'll see you on the next video.